Hello, Maniacs. This is O.Rocks, and welcome to another podcast video. That's where everyone is here to listen of the topics that's been brought up by anyone, and also of my honest opinions. So, again, Maniacs, welcome to my new podcast video. So today, I seen some recent posts that's happening on Facebook, and maybe I should talk about it as well. So, Maniacs, today's topic I'm about to bring up on my new podcast video is Sony and its outrageous choice of removing physical copies. Yep, that topic I'm about to bring up, because everyone who are PlayStation fans all brought that up, and also one of my friends brought that one up as well, about Sony stop producing producing physical copies or discs for the near future, maybe in 2027, in 2028, that depends. Anyway, when I saw the petition and also the news of, I'll get to the petition later. I apologize. So anyway, what I was trying to say, or was going to say, is that I saw the news and the posts that I saw on Facebook about Sony no longer going to do, or stopping, or plan to stop making physical copies of the upcoming PlayStation in the near future, or something like that. And I don't know if it's actually true, but by the looks of the other posts, and also what my friend told me about the company stop making physical discs in next year or 2 years or somewhat, that is a real thing. I didn't know. I didn't. No, actually, I'm not. Don't know. I meant to say is I did not realize that it's actually happening, and I gotta ask, why is Sony doing that? What are you thinking, Sony? Like, this is gonna be a beyond rant about the company. Sony, you've been making games for decades, and you're trying to sever the tradition of making physical copies on the new upcoming consoles. You've been doing that since maybe around 1998. Is it the year 1998? That's when it all started, or is it from later? I mean not later, but like way back then. That depends. Maybe 96, 97. I don't remember. But again, Sony, you've been doing it for generations, and now you want to stop doing the physical copies stuff. You want to go all digital. You want to go full Matrix. That is the dumbest plan you ever thought of, Sony. And also, I don't know about Microsoft Xbox, but maybe or maybe not they're gonna do the same thing like Sony did. I don't know. Because I remember I saw that newly released Xbox Series console that makes it replicated of the original Xbox. You know, the OG Xbox that was first released in 2001. They replicated for their Xbox Series console, like a green see-through casing to resemble the original. And that is like showing an anniversary to celebrate the years of the Xbox era. That where it all began, around in New York City, and it has a disc tray, so that's a cool thing. Maybe they should keep doing so. And if Microsoft is planning to do the same thing like Sony did with their PlayStation, then that could be a very terrible thing. So again, Sony, you cannot sever the tradition of selling physical copies. Like ending that production of your own company, and also for like planning on third parties. Like, that's not cool, Sony. For years, you've been selling console after console for each year and selling physical discs to sell them in stores to pay you cash. Sure, the digital era is taking over for some reason, but you don't have to follow it through. Like, oh, look, guys, this is a new milestone, a new gold mine. Let's transfer there, get rid of those, leave those discs out of it. Let's abandon this whole industry line, or the assembling line of physical discs, and let's go to the virtual world. Let's go to the Matrix and just sell those games there. Bring the third-party companies there, like Konami or From Software or whatever, into the digital world to sell these games in there. Like, you don't really have to do that. You can still sell games digitally in the PSN or the PlayStation Store, but don't stop producing discs. Like, dude, what world are you in now? Where are we? Where all of us are in? What's going on? Whatever physical copies we grew up with, or what we enjoyed since the beginning, it's like they just gave up on it. I just don't quite get it. That plan is garbage. That's trash. That's insane. That's ludicrous. Like, no one, including myself, would want to abandon discs or anything that's physical copy, like it's a physical copy of whatever console you owned, to be like trying to kick through or trying to send them to the doors. Like, all right, guys, thanks for being part of our company for generations. We don't need you all anymore. We're going all digital. Man, I have a loss of words. They lost their touch. Yes, Couple Maniacs, and I agree with you guys. If any one of you felt the way as me and my friend and the others are, we are very hurt for what Sony planned out. And man, and imagine for Xbox players who's doing the same thing. Even, I don't know if they're doing it like Sony did or they're going to stick to tradition, but if Xbox is doing the same thing like Sony did, like abandoning discs, then they're also bad like Sony are. Like, doing that kind of digital era kind of thing like Sony is doing or planning to do nearly. And that really makes me feel sick to my stomach when they're planning to do that, because that's not cool. Abandoning tradition or severing the roots that make their company successful, just abandoning it and just letting it rot away. That's messed up. That's really, really messed up. And it feels like imagine this. If that literally happened to one or two of those companies, then it's going to end up bringing back the 1983 game crash again. Like, it's going to happen again, just like what happened decades ago. Like, this is going to be the 83 VG crash remaster or remake. Like, they're going to no longer be interested in video games anymore because of one dumb plan. But the holy grail of video games that keeps this franchise alive is Nintendo. Nintendo is the only company, in my perspective, Cavalmaniacs, Nintendo is the only game company that still follows tradition for decades, since back then. They're not gonna turn their backs on their community. They're not gonna sever the roots like Sony is doing. They're not gonna do anything reckless to ruin Nintendo's reputation. I am very happy that Nintendo is still also they're still selling games digitally on Nintendo eShop, but I'm still happy that they're still selling physical copies and selling them in stores, just like they always do for generations. And they should follow Nintendo's Sony and maybe or maybe not Microsoft. I don't know that. I'm still in the middle of this. If Microsoft is doing it or not, I'm just saying. So anyway, if Sony should have followed Nintendo's footsteps, they should have continued to follow their footsteps, because Nintendo is doing the traditional way like they always do, and Sony is like, you know what, I hate that kind of tradition. I'd rather do things my way. That's the selfish thing they ever did. Again, maybe or maybe not from Microsoft as well for their Xbox, but yeah. So we don't want that remastered of the 83 video game crash that's going to happen around in 2026. I hope, I swear, or in later years. Like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want the physical copies be abandoned and no longer be accessible to purchasing. And the only way to do that is to digitally purchase it with credit cards or whatever. Like, dude, we don't want that we don't want that. Sure, they could still do that, but also bring the physical copies as well. Even well, there is like some games that does not have discs in it, like Fortnite, for example, like I already mentioned it. And I've already talked about online only games, like I already did that on the very first podcast, that it just ruins it all. Like, certain games that we grew up with, the same series, the franchise we grew up, turns into an online only game. It just ruins the experience, and that's really messed up. And even though some of the online only games like have turned off their servers but made the final update to finally be fully playable, that's really a good thing. But do the same thing with the others as well, because that's what we love to do. We always grew up with it. We want to do some collecting. We want to do some exploring. We want to do some racing and stuff. Without telling us to access ourselves to the internet. The same thing with what we're about to do with like no physical copies era from Sony. And again, their plan is garbage. And speaking of petition in the beginning of the podcast, Couple Maniacs, there's people signing their signatures, their names, on the petitions to tell Sony stop destroying games. And plus, there's already a motivation of stopping companies of destroying their own discs and all. Stop killing games, like stopping the companies from destroying physical copies of discs, and also whatever the customer purchased the discs, the games that they rightfully owned, and all of a sudden they just cut off the servers and make their games unplayable, which is a huge no-no and a huge red flag showing. And that is why Stop Killing Games and the other petitions are trying to stop companies of destroying games, taking games away, and ending the production like that. And Sony, you better make the right choice. If you don't make the right choice, then you're going to let history repeat itself, like going back to 1983 again. So that is all for this podcast video. Maniacs, thank you all so much for listening. I got to go back, relaxing myself during my vacation. But again, don't worry, I will return to YouTube once my vacation is done, and I'll be back doing more videos for you guys. So thank you all for listening. This is o.Rocks saying later, and I will see you all on the next podcast, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Take care.